Most coaches think that going online means posting workouts on Instagram and selling a program for £99 per month. But that is the exact reason why coaches are staying broke and not building the business that they desire. Over the past 15 years, I've built 2 successful 6-figure businesses and also helped other coaches to scale their business to at least 7K months. And in this video, I'm going to break down the strategies that you can put in place so that you're able to live the life that you want, that you probably once set up wanting to have, and actually feel passionate about your business again. Because one of the things I hear about a lot of online coaches is that they go online and then they lose that passion. But the thing that we need to focus on here is getting that balance between the two. A lot of people go fully online from face to face and then they lose that connection that they started coaching for. So what we want to do here in this position is turn it into a position where they're working with people in person and online, and it's a hybrid model and it will bring the best for you. So let's dig into this here then. So the areas that you see most coaches take the road of is they have the in-person position and they feel like they're burning out often because it's constant energy, it's constant push, and they feel trapped because a lot of people are trading time for money, and especially if it's one-to-one. If you are doing one-to-one in a gym and you are getting as many hours as you can, it isn't scalable. And this is one of the problems that I see so many people have. The other is jumping online. And again, a lot of people go into this position and they don't know how to run a business online in a way that is giving the same service. And I hear this so often where people say online isn't as good value. I completely disagree. If you do it right, it's better value, because it gives people the ability to travel the world and not have to stand next to you whilst you count their reps. Like, that's not the thing that you signed up to start PTing for. But then the other road that people take is to build a system. And I call this the growth engine. The growth engine, if you haven't yet seen it, it's a smart ad protocol, a power community, a power video, and a magnetic offer blueprint. And this is the exact system that I have been working on for a long time now, and it is 15 years worth of my information, experience and knowledge all combined into one crazy engine. So the 5-stage shift. Now, number 1 is to shift your identity, which is your mindset. A lot of people struggle with identity, and quite simply, when you think about who you are, you have a coach, a CEO and a creator. Now, a lot of people wouldn't call themselves a creator, but if you are online, you need to start thinking like a creator. You are a creator. You're creating content to show who you are, to attract leads and to bring them into your world. So a lot of people will initially be stuck with not realizing they're a creator and they don't want to create content. Well, you're not going to grow a business. I spoke to someone literally yesterday about this, where somebody was on about they only want face-to-face coaching, so they don't need to do any online presence stuff. And I asked her, where do you get your leads from? And she said, most people message her on Instagram. So why would you not then do your marketing on Instagram? And this is a trap that I find a lot of people get themselves into, or maybe it's a fear of not knowing what to do or not doing the right stuff, or feeling like they're not doing the right stuff. But you have to market yourself online, and from there you can then take people face to face, or you can keep them online. It's completely up to you. But we have the 3 areas: coach, CEO and creator. And it's quite simply, when we look at this, a lot of people think like posting workouts is marketing, but that isn't true. It's not about the workouts that you do and that you post to show who you are and what you can lift. Marketing is all about showing what you can do for them. So with the identity of who you are, we need to get the sweet spot so that you're able to sit in the middle and be all of them at different points. But again, it's understanding this initially, but then having the things in place to be able to be each of these. Number 2 is to package a magnetic offer. Now, this is vital. You need to have an offer that is not like this, where people are offering online coaching with no clear result, niche or timeline. A lot of people I speak to will say that they do online coaching. But the question is, what is online coaching and who is it for, and what is the delivery and what is the result? But the way we fix this is we build the magnetic offer blueprint, which is a clear promise, time frame and method. Now, it's something we build inside Launch 7, but I speak to my guys all the time about having a method, having a system that is yours. As you'll notice, the magnetic offer blueprint is something inside within Launch 7 is something that my clients get. That is my own method of something that I have built in the back end. And when you have methods and systems and formulas within your business, they stand out so much more, and people will be more inclined to trust you and go with the flow, because it's a system, it's a method, it's something that has got a lot behind it, as opposed to just being any system that anybody does. But when we look at the clear promise and time frame, these are two areas that a lot of people will probably not understand or respect how powerful it is. But having a clear promise so that the client knows exactly what they are getting, and having a time frame to know exactly the time they're going to get there, is golden when you're looking at your offer. So have a look at your offer at the moment and see if it's something that you're struggling with, or is it clear from yours? Number 3 then is to create a power video system. Now this is something where, exactly like this, what you're watching now, it's a system that I'm showing you what to do. I'm giving you value. You're meeting me. You're either starting to like me or not like me, because that's exactly what marketing is. And within this, we have content that is for authority. We use YouTube, Instagram to build binge-worthy content, ultimately, where people will watch your content. Now, there are so many strength coaches that will post all their workouts, but not much education or value. Then the guys that do education and value won't quite take it to the point of taking it to YouTube or longer form videos. But if anybody knows of the rule, there's 7-11-4. Search this up, have a look at it. It's Google's rule, I'm pretty sure it's called. But it's about 7 hours of content, 11 touch points, and 4 different platforms. And this is what it takes for somebody to buy off you, which is exactly the reason why I'm doing this video right now. So you can buy into me, like my stuff, and hopefully want to work with me. If not, you'll keep watching it until at some point, maybe you will. At some point, you won't. Who knows? But this is the whole idea of having binge-worthy content. So the people that you are trying to attract have the ability to learn more about you and get value from your cult. And again, this is exactly the system that we walk them around. If you look at this stage here, the power video, that is exactly what the videos are, and the reason we have them, to move people towards the offer blueprint and hopefully move them towards a client. And then we get a case study to do the exact same again, where we take them back to socials and spend ads on them to get more leads. And it continues round within that process. So number 4 is to build the smart ad protocol, which is the first part of the one from before. And what this does is we run ads to Instagram at a very low sort of start point, £5 to £10 per day, which we then get trigger DMs. So we use something called ManyChat. If you've not heard it, have a look at it. But this is a system that allows us to get leads while we're away from our phone, because that's one of the things that I teach people all the time, to not be constantly on your phone. Have 2 points through the day where you will be, working on certain systems within your phone, outreach, talking to people, and building a rapport so that people know you're there for when they're ready to buy. But with ManyChat, it's a system that's got automated responders, and it helps you collect their email, which is the next stage. And again, if you're not collecting emails right now, you need to, because it is the only asset that you actually own. If Facebook, Meta, Instagram was to shut down tomorrow, I think actually WhatsApp's now involved with it, isn't it? Then all of that communication and leads would be gone. Whereas if you had an email, then it will never go, because it's yours. The next stage then is to deliver value. So once we've had the ManyChat, we've got their email, we then deliver value. And this is where you start to build that trust. People start to like you again, or not like you, because that's part of the way they can go. But if people are watching you and they don't like you, they're wasting their time, or they're just nosy, one of the two. And then finally, it's book a call. And this is the last stage. Obviously, there's multiple ways you can do this, but the whole idea is that you take people through this system. And that is where we then, once you take people on, you spend more money on ads, and then it gets more traffic and volume back in. And this is why such of a system like this is so much more powerful than your old school funnels. So number 5 then is to install the Power Week system, which is what it says on the tin. So this, quite simply, is using the coach, creator, and CEO understanding, And this is where most coaches fail from doing or not doing the right systems and structures. They're not failing from bad strategy, because a lot of people have the information, the strategies and everything in place. But ultimately they fail from the lack of controlling their time. This is actually my diary from today as I built this, because that's today's date. But if you look, I've got a deep work 1 at the top. The first thing I do at 5 o'clock is walk and do my identity statement. I'll read that out. Then I have a deep block of work. Then I do, let me zoom in a bit. Then I've got my journal, pipeline, and then DMs. And then I'll go into another deep block. Then I'll have training. My pen's going crazy. But then I'll train through that period here, which I've recently switched because I find it a better time to train, because then I'm sort of like having a break through the day. And then I'll go into another deep block here. But having these deep blocks in your diary are absolutely key and golden. A lot of coaches, again, I think this comes from the fact of, because I was just like this years ago, but I think it comes from the fact of coaches are into training and think training is what builds the business. But remember, if you're not working on your business, how can you expect it to actually grow? Because it will not grow on its own, right? You need to be doing things on your business that are building systems, creating content, connecting with people, networking, and doing the stuff that is the opposite to working in the gym and the opposite to writing the programs. You know, people build a business through passion most of the time and start their business with the programming side because that's what they're good at. But they're not focused and they're not turning pro on the business side. And this is the area that people lack in. So they are the 5 areas. I would love to know. Drop it in the comments or message me on Instagram, but I'd love to know which is the one that stands out for you the most out of those 5. But here's a few little comments from guys recently. Lewis here, loving the new system in Launch 7. It's really helping me tackle the overwhelm, seeing the green ticks when the task is done. One of the parts of the system of Launch 7 is within Skool, you have to go through the levels and they are strategically placed in the way that you need them at the point you need them to grow your business. One of the biggest things that people struggle with is overwhelm. So I've done this exact system so it stops that overwhelm. And I think this was Mike here. Main part here that I was sort of like highlighting was halfway through the mentorship. It's all paid up. It's one of the things that I focus on with everybody inside the mentorship, first of all, is to help them earn their money back. So everything else after that is their money and it's bonus money. You're then technically getting coached and mentored for free. And then we got some wins here from Stephen. Starting Monday, £200 collected, 3 months, £600 total. And this is one of the things that we teach you guys. Whenever you take money, have a look at what cash is collected and then also the lifetime value. Because whenever you take smaller amounts of cash collected, if you are not thinking about the lifetime value, you can sometimes be demotivated. But actually look at what you're taking as a minimum of a lifetime value. So for example, this person here is a 3 months minimum. But like I always say to my guys, is that they're very, very rarely going to stop at that 3 months, especially if you're doing a great job. So actually it's even more than 600, but it's good to put it into that position. So if you want to jump on the content creation course and attract more of the right clients for you and your business, then just drop me a message on Instagram, The Maiden Official. Drop the word juicy and I will send you the login details so you can get in onto Skool and get access to this free course, because it will take your content to a whole new level. And that is the end of that. But I hope you got lots of value from this. Now, within the way that I'm delivering everything right now, I want to give you as much value as possible so you can see exactly the ins and outs of what it takes to get to 7K consistent months. But the one big thing that I want to leave you with here is that I've been through the last few years, lots of different ways to run my business. I've had big teams, I've had appointment setters, I've had crazy amounts on ads, but I've never been so profitable than I am right now. I'm sure that's a word, profitable. Yes, it is. But I've never been in this position before. And it's all because I've finally gone complete solo All I have now is somebody who, I'll shout him out, Rob, because he's an absolute beast, who does my editing. And that is the only person in my team right now. But you do not need a big team at all. You just need the systems in place. And if you can take that from me right now, that will be the thing that will change the game for you. That was sick. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon.